This morning's guest has a mission to build 2 houses in 2 weeks. Let's learn about the mission and meet him. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Garden City office of Santee Cooper. We're focused on the upcoming Mexico mission trip with First Presbyterian Church, and we're visiting with the mission leader, Bubba Lewis. Good morning, Bubba.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's a little early, but
right before the flight. I know you're leaving in a couple hours. We are thrilled to get you in. It's amazing to think about all the preparation that has to happen year-round to get ready for these trips in the summertime.
Absolutely. We plan year-round for this trip, and this was important enough to where before I left today, that we needed to come here and speak to you about
it. I love it. There's still an opportunity for viewers to be involved to help support what y'all are doing down there, not only this week, but also next week. You're going to be there how long?
2 weeks. We go for 2 weeks. We have 2 separate groups. One group will come in the first week and build a house, and then we'll change over and have another group come in, but I stay the 2 weeks.
You stay the entire 2 weeks?
I stay the entire 2 weeks, and then we have 3 other people. John Slater, who's my construction foreman, he stays for 2 weeks.
Does he? Great.
And then Jimmy and Candy Webb, who are our spiritual leaders, our mother and father on the trip, they stay for 2 weeks.
That is fantastic. I didn't know that John, has he been involved for a good while?
He's been involved longer than anybody with our church.
Is that right?
That's continuously gone. Our church has been going for 16 years, and he's been involved for 16 years.
Come on. That is fantastic. John's very dedicated to the church.
Absolutely.
I know he's real active on the Wednesday night dinners, working behind the scenes, getting everything ready. I mean, he's very active.
I'm not used to saying all these great things about John, but I don't want him to get a big head.
That's right. He's not tuning in now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know he's asleep.
That's right. He's sleeping.
But no, John's great, and he does a great job for us. The construction part, he knows what he's doing.
Great.
Because the whole build process is set up for people who don't know a lot about construction. So he guides us through the week, and we get a house built every year. We get a house built in 1 week.
How many folks are getting on the flight, or some of them I know actually got on this weekend to head on down? How many folks are going to be down there this first week?
We have a pretty large group going both weeks. We have 23 members going
this week.
The first week.
Right.
Now we have 6 doctors from Greenwood, South Carolina, who's going to kind of piggyback with our group.
Tremendous.
So but the build team has 23, and then the second week I believe we have 25.
Constructores para Cristo, which stands for what?
Construction with God.
With God. That is fantastic. And of course, to think about the excitement for everyone who's going down, particularly first-timers. You've got a lot of newbies on this trip.
Oh yes. I even have my principal, Belton Allen at Carolina Forest High School. Her daughter is going with us.
Is that right?
She's going to be a good addition. She's excited, and I'm excited for her.
I love it. Do folks have to be members of First Presbyterian Church to attend?
We try to, since it's a church trip, we try to get as many of our members to go.
Right.
But if we can squeeze someone who really wants to go, then we try to, and we try to help other church groups if they want to get something started. Like I know Ocean View Baptist had sent a group, I believe, last year.
Right.
So we try to help. If they want to go, we try to make it available for them to go, yes.
That's fantastic. Real quick about yourself, Bob. Are you originally from the area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lifelong resident.
Of Myrtle Beach?
Of Myrtle Beach.
You are kidding.
I'm a minority, obviously, but no, I lived here my whole life.
And you've got a family here in the area?
I have a wife of 13 years, and I have 3 beautiful children, 2 boys and a 4-year-old girl.
Is that right? And y'all are members of First Presbyterian?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Been there since, Dr. Wilkes started about the same time I started.
No. Bobby Wilkes, the pastor there. Does he come down on the trips?
He's never been on one of our trips, but I know that our assistant minister, Chris Denny, went last year with his wife, and we've had various church members. Todd Harms is going with us this year.
Of course, sure. And he and his wife went down. Our producer, Sherry, went down on Saturday a couple days ago.
That's right.
They're down there already.
They're down there getting ready to get
living
busy.
and loving it, I bet. Waiting for you to arrive. Now, do you really get the whip out and get them going?
That's what John Slater's there for.
John's
he gets
doing
the whip
that.
out.
That's right.
My job is to get them from point A to point B and try to make it as pleasant as possible and make sure everything's taken care of. But when it comes to the construction, he takes over, and I just do what he tells me to do.
Now, have you been the mission leader all 7 years, or you went
No,
a
I
couple
went
times?
my first year.
Right.
I went just as a member of the team.
Right.
But then, somehow it got worked out. They asked me if I wanted to do it, and I guess I was so moved by it, and the idea of just being involved and trying to make it a better trip.
Right.
Is what I kind of got involved with.
You said that you mentioned your principal's daughter was going. You're out at, what do you do at Carolina Forest High School?
I'm the athletic director at Carolina Forest High School.
Good.
And Jenna, her daughter, is. I talked her into going with us, so it's going to be. I'm excited about her going.
That is tremendous. Well, Todd and Sherry Sherry has talked to me about trying to get down there, if not this year, another year, and it sounds like such an amazing experience. I can't imagine going down to Mexico for a full week and building a house.
Well, the things that I like about it, it's a life-altering experience because it's a long-term investment. When you build this house, you're going to change a family's life for a long period of time. It's not something you just give them. Now they're going to be able to raise their kids and live in a safe and clean environment. So it's an experience, and you get it done in a week. So you see from start to finish a finished product, and I think that's what's so unique about it.
Now these homes will look just like the one from Extreme Makeover recently here in
no, if we built a house that size, we could probably put about 200 families in there.
Oh yeah, sure. Is that right? So the homes that y'all are building this week and next week are about
well, they're made out of concrete and block.
Right.
And they have a panel roof.
Right.
And it's 21 feet square.
Okay, 21 feet square.
And what would be acceptable, wouldn't be acceptable for a lot of people in the U.S., it's very acceptable in Mexico because we don't put plumbing, running water, electricity, we don't put those in their houses because a lot of them don't have, that's not available to them. They don't have it now, and they don't have a place, to hook up to power and water. So we build basically a grand room, and then there's 2 bedrooms. And it's got 2 doors and 4 windows and a panel roof.
Wow, Bubba.
But it's a lot better than what they're used to, because I've seen it to where they live in. We took a family that lived in a van, that lived in a car, basically a 10 by 10 shack made out of cardboard boxes, Pepsi, Coke boxes that they nailed up on the wall, and that's what they lived in. Dirt floor. 10 by 10, and a family of 4 living in that. We tear that down and build them a 21 square building out of block and cement, and it's up off the ground, and windows and doors that they can lock and secure the facility.
That's amazing. It doesn't sound like it's just a life-changing event for the recipients there, but probably for y'all as well.
Oh, no, it is. I mean, the whole purpose of the trip is to try to build that community one house at a time, and CPC has built over 500 houses in that community.
Is that right?
Over 500 houses. We've been involved with 22, 23, or this will be our 22nd and 23rd house, but
this week and next week.
This week and next week, but they have built 500 houses.
That is amazing. Bubba, if a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, I know this is the last big week of school, and of course you're taking off this last week of school, I guess, to be down there. But of course, if someone needs to get off, is there a good phone number for someone to call to learn more? Is that the 448-4496 number?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the phone number at First Presbyterian Church.
Okay, good.
And I won't be there.
Right,
all they have to
do
is call one of the staff members and explain to them that they want to make a contribution to the Mexico mission trip, or they want to buy a block, and they'll fill out the cards. And like I said, the second week, a group would be more than happy to bring those down.
Yes. Great. So if someone called in today or any time this week, and you've got a couple of those cards right there, that's an example. Let's see, I'll hold that up, and of course it's got, "O Lord, open my lips and my mouth shall proclaim your praise. Lord, we are the clay and you are the potter. We are all the work of your hand. Be merciful to us." Isaiah 64, that's a great verse there, but of course the ability to fill that out, and of course, what do we have on the front end there that folks are looking at?
Well, see, what we normally do, and I think a lot of people, because it's become a big event at the construction site, midweek, before we actually close in the walls and all that, we'll have a ceremony where when people have donated money and they want to recognize the lost family members or memorialize someone, they fill out these cards and we drop them all throughout the house and all the walls before we seal it with concrete.
Wait, say that again, Bubba. Y'all do that before you seal it?
Before we seal, because what happens, the construction part, we have to seal the top of the house to put the roof on. But before we do that, we drop down these cards, and it can be a very emotional ceremony.
Absolutely,
because
sure.
You're talking about, like myself. I mean, we lost a daughter, and and that's what we do. We fill these cards out, and we drop them in, and we memorialize lost loved ones or people who've contributed to, it might be my mom or something like that. So we do things, and it becomes a very emotional.
Absolutely. For everyone involved, that must be. And of course, on here it's got please print given by, in memory of, or in honor of. And of course, to think about you all giving a lot of your time and your spirit to be down there, the house for the needy, Casa para los necesitados. And of course, it's very important to think about that, the ability to actually reach out to folks in that community. To be able to slip those down in there must mean a lot. How much does a card cost?
We've had, normally we sell them for $10 a piece, but we've had people give us $100, give us $500,
sure.
And then we fill out, various cards, and we don't just get one card. If we might fill out 100 cards for $100.
Right, sure.
We try to drop it to where we cover the whole house and make sure it's surrounded.
Wow.
Every wall in there will have a card put in it.
That is tremendous. Now, have you met the families whose... how do y'all go about selecting the families, Bubba? What's the process for figuring out? Because there's obviously, if folks are living in vans or living in cardboard boxes, there's probably a lot of needy families in this community.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. What they normally, and that's when you said it was year-round, it is year-round because they go through the staff that lives in Mexico there, they go through and have an interview process, and there's requirements that they have to have in order to get a house. They have to, be a family, have kids, have jobs, trying to, as far as clean records and things like that, to where they need help, but they just need somebody to help them.
Right.
And then they go through an interview process, and there's a lot of great families down there. So then they've got to the point where there's so many families that need this help, they have a lottery. And it's a big event down there to where they basically pull numbers out of a hat or a lottery type system, and those families win the right to have a house built for them.
Wow.
And they have to be able to, with a job, we don't just give them a house. They have to be able to pay, rent and things like that towards the house. So there's a long-term agreement with the families and CPC to where they're not going to just get a house and then a year later sell it. They're looking for them to make a long-term investment as a family there, so that community can become stronger and better. So there's a lot to it. It's just not building a house and just giving it to whoever they think needs it. There's qualifications for it.
And you said the CPC, or the Constructores para Cristo, they are based here in Myrtle, or they're somewhere else? Is this the Alabama group?
That's the Alabama group.
Okay.
Diane Davis started this about 20 years ago. And it's kind of unique how she went to Mexico and she saw the need. Her husband's an architect. He designed this house to where someone of limited construction knowledge and limited materials could build a safe and house that could be lived in with a family. And they've kind of tinkered with it over time.
Sure,
but it's
gotten better every year over the last 20 years.
Every year.
That is wonderful.